everybody, my name is Joy and welcome to Curiosity Corner Live. I am coming to you from right here at the Great Lakes Science Center where we are closed for the health, safety, and wellness of all of our guests and staff. But we are still going to bring you all of your favorite science experiments, and I'm going to show you some of my favorites, and they all have to do with the coolest thing in our building. It's a pun. Because it is something called liquid nitrogen. It is so dangerous that I have to put on special gloves right here. And remember, I am a trained professional. Please do not try any of this at home because I have liquid nitrogen. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of that out into my beaker and get a look at that in there. Now, if you look really closely at this beaker, you can see this liquid nitrogen is boiling and bubbling and turning from a liquid to a gas very, very quickly. That's because it is extremely cold. And we can figure out how cold it is by using our super high-tech thermometer. It is approximately accurate 100% of the time. I'm gonna go ahead and dip that in there. We're just gonna take our liquid nitrogen's temperature, and liquid nitrogen is about 320 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit. Now, I know that we are on YouTube right now, so you could be watching from anywhere in the world, and not everywhere uses Fahrenheit. So, if you are not in the United States of America, it's also about negative 195 degrees Celsius. Now, liquid nitrogen is so cold that it can make different things behave differently. I have here a rubber tube. It is nice and stretchy. All matter is made up of something called molecules. And the molecules inside of my rubber tube are really close together and they move around a teeny tiny bit. But we're gonna see what happens when we put our rubber tube in the liquid nitrogen. Now this requires a countdown because all good science requires a countdown, and they're super fun. So we're gonna do a countdown. If you wanna count down with me at home, you can. We're gonna start at 10. So here we go. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And my stretchy tube doesn't look so stretchy anymore. Look at that, it is completely stuck. If I were to hit this, rubber doesn't usually make that noise. It usually is all like thwappy. That's a word, thwappy. That's because I reduced the amount of thermal energy in my solid, and those molecules that already weren't moving around very much are now moving around even less. But this is not stuck this way forever. All I need to do is put some thermal energy back using the heat from my hands, and eventually, oh, there we go, it'll start to get stretchy and it's not stuck anymore. Now, this is super cool. Now, another way that things can change is using a gas. So if I make liquid super cold, it turns into ice. I could make ice, it's not that interesting. But I wanna see what happens if I blow up my balloon. Go. Balloon. Okay, so think at home. What do you think is gonna happen to my balloon if I pour some liquid nitrogen on it? Is it gonna pop? Is it gonna freeze? I don't know, let's find out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour my liquid nitrogen in there. I'm gonna put this away. And you know, just for fun, I'm gonna add a little bit more liquid nitrogen. And I'm gonna roll this balloon around. That's a weird balloon noise. Haha! Now, what has clearly happened is I have magical powers, and I have made the balloon disappear. Because what I put in was a balloon. This looks like a pancake. It's all nice and flat. Now remember when I said matter is made up of something called molecules? My molecules in my balloon are gas molecules, so they are flying and filling up the balloon as much as they can. But when you reduce the thermal energy by adding in some liquid nitrogen, they go from doing this to that and compressing. But just like my rubber tube, this is not stuck this way forever. and I can blow up a balloon from the outside. Because my molecules are back to acting like they were before. And the cool thing about the thermal energy in my breath, I can touch the balloon and my hand is not freezing off. So liquid nitrogen is super duper awesome. And I want to store some for later. So I'm just gonna pour it in my nifty nut can there. I'm gonna put this out of the way. So I'm gonna store some in my nut can. I'm just gonna put the lid on, nice and tight. Everything's fine. I just need to make sure that it's all the way on. It's fine, just need to push it down. Got it, yep, it's gonna stay on forever, and that's just what's gonna happen. Okay, so maybe that's not gonna work. So remember, my liquid is turning into a gas very, very quickly. So I need a container where the lid will expand along with my liquid nitrogen turning into a gas. So I'm going to pour the rest of my liquid nitrogen in there. And I just so happen to have a lid that will expand with my liquid turning into a gas. We're gonna get this out of the way. This is a balloon, so I'm just gonna pour that on, put that in there, put that on. Yep, and it's just gonna stop. It's gonna stop now. Oh, it's filling up the balloon. And the pressure was so strong that the stopper with the balloon couldn't even stay on. So let's see if we can do that again. I'm gonna get some more liquid. Oh, there's still liquid nitrogen in there. I'm gonna put this balloon on there. We're gonna see what happens with this one, where the pressure builds and builds and builds. And the balloon is just gonna keep going until the pressure can't take it anymore and something happens, whether the stopper flies away or not. But see, it's still growing because that balloon is gonna stretch and stretch and stretch. Now, we never have any way of knowing what's going to happen to the balloon, because that's the cool thing about science. You can try things and try things and try things and get different results every single time. This one, I think it might be done, because I think I ran out of liquid nitrogen. So, don't know. Let's see. Yep, it's done. All right. Now, my other favorite thing to do with liquid nitrogen is to make clouds. Now, as you know, here in Northeast Ohio, we are known for our beaches, and it is perfectly sunny year-round, never rains, never snows, perfect weather. So, I'm going to bring you an indoor cloud using my liquid nitrogen. So I'm just gonna pour that in there. But you know, one of my favorite words in science is more. So I'm going to go ahead and pour some more liquid nitrogen into this container. Just a little more, just a little bit. Maybe a teaspoon, or 20,000. Never really measured. There we go. Now, I could stand here and be all like, ta-da! But that is super lame. What I want to do is I'm going to transfer a whole bunch of thermal energy into my liquid nitrogen so fast that my liquid will turn into a gas that will turn the water vapor in the air into fog. So luckily, I happen to have some boiling hot water. And before I do this, I'm going to put on a face shield for safety reasons, because as I like to say, everything is really awesome at the Great Lakes Science Center, but you know things are about to get even more awesome when I put on more safety. So, are you ready to see a giant indoor cloud? Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, walk! Wow! Now that is a very impressive and apparently rain-filled cloud. Woo! So thank you for hanging out with me right here on Curiosity Corner Live. I'm gonna go get a towel. Make sure you check back for future videos right here every day at 10 10:30. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and stay curious.